The choice between Erwin Smith and Armin Arlert stands as one of Attack on Titan's most agonizing moments. After the brutal Battle of Shiganshina, Levi Ackerman held a single Titan serum that could save only one person. Commander Erwin Smith lay unconscious, mortally wounded after leading a suicide charge against the Beast Titan. Armin Arlert lay burned beyond recognition, sacrificing himself to defeat the colossal Titan. Levi chose Armin. His reasoning came from understanding that Erwin had fought his entire life, chasing a dream to prove his father's theory about the world beyond the walls. With the basement's secrets within reach, Erwin's life mission approached completion. Levi recognized that his friend deserved rest after years of sending countless soldiers to their deaths while carrying immense guilt. When Erwin unconsciously raised his hand in a reflexive gesture that pushed the serum away in his sleep, Levi saw peace on his commander's face and made the decision to let him die. Flock Forster argued passionately that humanity needed Erwin the Devil, who could lead soldiers to victory through any sacrifice. Eren and Mikasa fought desperately to save Armin, believing their friend's strategic mind held equal value. Hanji watched, torn between both arguments. Today, we're exploring what would have happened if Levi's hand moved differently. If that needle pierced Erwin's skin instead of Armin's. If the 13th commander of the Survey Corps awakened as the new colossal Titan, the battle that almost went differently. The Battle of Shiganshina pushed the Survey Corps to absolute limits. Erwin devised a desperate strategy, a suicide charge to distract Zeke's Beast Titan, while Levi circled for the kill. He confessed to Levi beforehand that his selfish dream of reaching Eren's basement and proving his father's theories mattered more to him than humanity's victory. This admission revealed the guilt that had driven Erwin for decades. Leading new recruits who had barely seen combat, Erwin delivered his final speech. He acknowledged that their deaths would be meaningless, that they'd become food for Titans, but he promised that those who came after would give meaning to their sacrifice. He raised his arm, screamed for them to advance, and charged directly into a hail of boulders thrown by the Beast Titan. Erwin was struck by a rock, crushing his arm and leaving him mortally wounded. The charge succeeded. Levi reached Zeke and nearly killed him, though the Beast Titan escaped. Meanwhile, Armin's plan to defeat Berthold Hoover worked. He allowed himself to be burned alive by the colossal Titan's steam, creating an opening for Eren to strike. Berthold was pulled from his Titan and captured. Flock found Erwin barely alive among piles of corpses. He carried the commander back to where Levi stood over Armin's charred body. The confrontation that followed tore at everyone present. Levi initially moved to inject Erwin, but the commander's unconscious gesture and peaceful expression changed everything. In this alternate timeline, something shifts. Perhaps Levi's resolve to honor Erwin's sacrifices overcomes his desire to grant his friend peace. Perhaps Erwin's hand doesn't push the serum away. Perhaps Flock's arguments about humanity needing a devil prove more persuasive. The needle enters Erwin's arm. The serum flows. The 13th commander transforms into a pure Titan and devours Berthold Hoover, inheriting the colossal Titan's power. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe if you're finding value in this analysis. Erwin's awakening and the cost. Erwin awakens to devastation both around him and within him. Armin Arlert, the brilliant strategist who reminded him of his younger self, lies dead because Levi chose Erwin. The survivors explain what transpired. Eren, Mikasa, Jean, and Connie struggle to hide their grief and anger. Their friend died so their commander could live. The guilt Erwin carried for sending soldiers to their deaths multiplies. Now he lives because a 15-year-old boy burned to death. The boy who dreamed of seeing the ocean will never witness it. Erwin's first question upon understanding what happened: was it worth it? The Survey Corps ventures into Eren's basement and discovers Grisha Jaeger's journals. The truth about Titans, the world beyond the walls, and Eldian's true history emerges. Erwin Smith, who spent his life pursuing this knowledge, finally has answers. His father's theories prove correct. Humanity exists beyond the walls. Titans are Eldians, transformed by Marley, a nation that's persecuted their people for over a century. For Erwin, this revelation brings no satisfaction, only the weight of what it cost. The dream that drove him to sacrifice thousands is fulfilled, yet he feels hollow. He now possesses the colossal Titan, one of the 9 Titans. The power to devastate cities with a single transformation rests in his hands. The key difference from Armin's survival. Erwin approaches this power with strategic calculation rather than moral hesitation. He understands immediately how the colossal titan changes Paradise Island's position. They possess 3 of the 9 titans, Aaron's attack and founding titans, and now Erwin's colossal. This gives them leverage, leadership, and strategic planning. Erwin's strategic genius shaped the Survey Corps for years. His long-distance enemy scouting formation significantly reduced casualties on expeditions. His ability to outthink opponents, from capturing the female Titan to orchestrating the government coup, proved unmatched. He could see several moves ahead, sacrificing pieces to win the game. Now commanding with knowledge of the outside world, Erwin applies this brilliance to a much larger battlefield. While Hange leads day-to-day Survey Corps operations as Erwin's second-in-command, Erwin focuses on preparing Paradis for the inevitable conflict with Marley. The arrival of Yelena and the anti-Marleyan volunteers proceeds similarly, their ship captured, their technology shared. However, Erwin's negotiations with them differ from Hange's approach. Erwin recognizes Zeke Yeager's hidden agenda more quickly. The commander who spent years reading people's intentions and manipulating political situations sees through Zeke's performance. Erwin supports the expedition to Marley but maintains tighter control over Aaron. The commander who once restrained Aaron during the trial against the military police understands the danger of letting Aaron operate independently. When Aaron's letters arrive from Marley, Erwin reads between the lines and anticipates Aaron's plan to attack Liberio. The Survey Corps travels to Marley, but Erwin accompanies them. His presence changes the dynamic. Aaron cannot act as freely under the watchful eye of a commander who views soldiers as pieces on a board. Erwin allows the attack on Liberio to proceed understanding. It serves Paradise's interests, but maintains stricter coordination. The Liberio operation. During the raid on Liberio, Erwin's tactical modifications create different outcomes. Rather than Armin destroying the harbor, Erwin transforms as the colossal titan with calculated precision. He destroys Marley's naval fleet and military infrastructure while minimizing civilian casualties, where possible, not from compassion, but from strategic assessment that excessive civilian deaths strengthen Marley's propaganda. Erwin's colossal titan appears different from both Bertholdt's and Armin's versions. He uses the explosive transformation tactically, then employs the steam emission ability defensively to protect retreating Survey Corps members. His decades of combat experience translate to more efficient Titan usage. The operation succeeds with fewer complications. Erwin coordinates the retreat personally, ensuring the Survey Corps and Aaron escape while dealing maximum damage to Marley's military capacity. Sasha Blouse's death might still occur. Some tragedies prove inevitable, but Erwin's tighter control reduces other casualties. The return to Paradise brings political tension. The Survey Corps faces criticism for the unauthorized attack, but Erwin leverages his political experience from the coup d'état. He navigates the military's internal politics, using the successful operation to strengthen the Survey Corps' position. His reputation as the commander who reclaimed Wall Maria carries weight. Aaron's radicalization progresses differently under Erwin's command. The commander who manipulated Aaron during the female Titan operation understands how to direct Aaron's rage productively. Erwin doesn't try to stop Aaron's darker impulses, he channels them. This creates a more dangerous partnership. 2 strategists working toward the same goal, each willing to sacrifice anything for victory. The rumbling question. Zeke Yeager's plan to use the founding Titan emerges. His proposal? Make all Eldians unable to reproduce, ending the Titan curse through extinction. Aaron's counterplan. Activate the rumbling and flatten the world beyond Paradise. The Survey Corps debates both options, while Aaron and Zeke prepare to make contact. Erwin's position on the rumbling proves complex. He spent his entire life chasing knowledge about the world beyond the walls. Now faced with the choice to destroy that world, Erwin weighs options with cold logic. Could Paradise survive through limited rumbling demonstrations? Through strategic alliances? Through conventional military buildup? Erwin recognizes what Armin eventually concluded: the world will not negotiate with Paradise in good faith. Marley's propaganda runs too deep. Other nations see Eldians as devils. Every diplomatic attempt ends in rejection. Hizuru's support proves conditional and self-interested. However, Erwin's approach to the rumbling differs from Erin's. Erwin considers it a last resort, not an inevitable conclusion. He plans for partial rumbling scenarios, destroying Marley's military capacity while leaving the continent's people alive. He calculates how many wall titans would need to march to achieve strategic objectives without global genocide. When Eren activates the rumbling, Erwin faces the hardest decision of his career. Eren contacts the founding titan's power, releases the wall titans, and begins marching toward global destruction. The commander who once sent hundreds to die in suicide charges must now decide, support Eren's genocide or oppose him. The alliance and final battle. Erwin's choice creates the series' ultimate twist. The devil who sacrificed countless soldiers for humanity's survival cannot accept sacrificing the entire world. His guilt over Armin's death compounds this. The boy who dreamed of seeing the ocean died so Erwin could live. Now Erwin would use that life to destroy the very world Armin wanted to explore. Erwin joins Hange, Levi, and the others in forming the alliance to stop Eren. His strategic mind proves invaluable. Where the original alliance struggled to coordinate between former enemies, Erwin's battlefield experience and tactical genius bridge gaps. He fought Reiner and Annie before. He understands their capabilities and limitations. The Battle of Heaven and Earth unfolds differently. Erwin's colossal titan provides immense firepower against Eren's founding titan. The commander who spent years minimizing casualties in Survey Corps operations now applies that same strategic efficiency to the final battle. He coordinates the alliance's assault, positioning forces to maximize their limited advantages. Hanji's sacrifice may not occur. In the original timeline, Hanji died buying time for the flying boat to take off while colossal titans approached. Erwin's colossal titan could provide that distraction more effectively, using the explosive transformation to destroy multiple wall titans while the alliance escapes. Erwin names Hanji as his successor before this sacrifice, passing the role of 14th commander of the Survey Corps. However, Erwin's survival means a different dynamic when confronting Eren in the paths. Armin's emotional appeal to Eren worked because of their childhood friendship, the boy who shared Eren's dream of exploring the world. Erwin lacks that connection. His argument against the rumbling comes from strategic analysis, not emotional bonds. This creates a harder battle. Eren doesn't respond to Erwin's logic. The alliance must rely more on Mikasa's choice to kill Eren, on Zeke's realization that life's small moments give it meaning, on the former Titan shifter's spirits resisting Eren's control. Erwin's contribution comes through tactical coordination, keeping the alliance alive long enough for these emotional breakthroughs to matter. Mikasa still beheads Eren. Ymir Fritz releases her hold on the founding Titan. The rumbling stops after destroying approximately 80% of the world's population. The Titan curse ends. Every Eldian who transformed reverts to human form. Aftermath and reconstruction. The world that emerges from the rumbling bears deep scars. Erwin Smith, now powerless without his colossal titan, faces the consequences of survival. He returns to Paradise Island as the commander who stopped the rumbling but couldn't prevent its devastation. The Jaegerists view him as a traitor. Many civilians question why he opposed Eren's plan to protect Paradise. Erwin's political skills prove crucial during Reconstruction. The commander who orchestrated a bloodless coup against the old government now works to rebuild Paradise's relationship with the surviving world. He travels with the Alliance as an ambassador, using his strategic mind to navigate complex negotiations. His survival changes Levi's arc significantly. In the original timeline, Levi lived with the weight of choosing Armin over Erwin, with memories of comrades saluting him one final time. With Erwin alive, their relationship continues but remains complicated. Levi gave Erwin rest, then took it away. Erwin understands why Levi chose Armin initially, and why circumstances forced Levi to revive him in this alternate scenario. They work together to honor the Survey Corps' fallen soldiers. The absence of Armin Arlert creates a hole in Eren and Mikasa's lives. Their childhood friend died at 15 because adults decided his life mattered less than Erwin's. This changes how they view the Survey Corps command structure. Eren's radicalization potentially intensifies without Armin's moderating influence. Mikasa carries additional trauma beyond Eren's death. 3 years after the Battle of Heaven and Earth, tensions remain between Paradise and the world. The cycle of hatred continues. Erwin recognizes this. He always understood that some problems have no perfect solutions. The commander who spent his life chasing his father's dream about the truth of the world now works to prevent that truth from leading to Paradise's destruction. Drop a comment below on whether Erwin's survival would ultimately strengthen or weaken humanity's chances for peace. Erwin Smith's survival carries its own devastating weight. Armin's death eliminates a voice of compassion and moral consideration from the story. The boy who questioned the ethics of their actions, who struggled with the guilt of inheriting the colossal titan, who wanted to explore the world rather than destroy it, gone. In his place stands a battle-hardened commander who views people as strategic assets. Erwin brought tactical genius and political maneuvering to the final conflict. He prevented some deaths through superior coordination. He navigated post-war reconstruction with skill that Armin, for all his brilliance, lacked the experience to match. Yet something essential vanished. Armin's journey from terrified boy to commander of the Survey Corps represented hope that compassion could coexist with strength, that the next generation might break cycles the previous generation couldn't. Erwin's survival meant the old guard maintained control, applying old methods to new problems. The question isn't whether Erwin's strategic genius surpassed Armin's potential. Clearly, his decades of experience provided immediate advantages. The question is whether humanity needed another brilliant devil or needed someone who still believed in dreams. Erwin spent his life questioning his own motivations, wondering if his selfish dream of proving his father's theories drove him more than humanity's survival. This self-awareness made him an effective but tormented leader. Living meant confronting that guilt daily, while watching Erwin, Mikasa, and their generation mourn their friend. The Survey Corps gained a legendary commander who understood political warfare and battlefield tactics at the highest level. They lost the boy who reminded them that their fight had moral dimensions, not just strategic ones. Both timelines lead to devastating consequences. Erwin's survival might have prevented some deaths through superior tactics. It might have navigated the Alliance's formation more smoothly. It might have strengthened Paradise's position in post-rumbling negotiations. But it couldn't prevent the rumbling itself. That choice belonged to Erwin and Zeke. The real difference lies not in outcomes, but in philosophy. Armin's leadership represented hope that the next generation could find better answers. Erwin's survival represented acceptance that some problems require devils, not dreamers. Levi's choice to save Armin over Erwin came from understanding that Erwin had earned rest, that humanity needed fresh perspectives, that dreams about the ocean mattered as much as strategies for victory. Reversing that choice means acknowledging that experience and tactical brilliance outweigh youth and idealism. Neither answer satisfies completely. Both Erwin and Armin deserved to live. Both deaths created tragedy. The Serum Bowl's agony came from this impossible choice between two people who represented different paths forward: experience versus potential, calculation versus compassion. The devil who wins through sacrifice versus the dreamer who sees possibilities beyond current battles. In the end, Attack on Titan explores how survival itself becomes a burden. Erwin spent his life carrying the weight of his fallen soldiers. Adding Armin to that count would break something fundamental in him. He'd fight effectively. He'd lead strategically. He'd help save humanity from complete annihilation. But he'd never forgive himself for living when the boy who reminded him of his younger self, the boy who still had room in his heart for dreams, burned to death so the devil could survive. Both timelines honor different truths about leadership, sacrifice, and the cost of survival in a world where devils and dreamers both have roles to play. Both recognize that some decisions have no right answers, only consequences we must live with. The rumbling taught the survivors that choosing who lives and who dies, whether in a serum bowl or a global genocide, leaves scars that never fully heal. Erwin's survival would have changed tactics, but not this fundamental truth, that in Attack on Titan's world, every choice to save one life means letting another die, and living with those choices proves harder than any battle. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.